Hey everybody, thanks for having me. I want to thank Kevin McKernan for inviting me here. I am the former UI UX tech lead of Dash Core Group Incorporated. I currently advise multiple blockchain projects. If you've ever downloaded a Shutterfly photo book, I am listed as a patent inventor on that particular project. I was involved in the FedEx Print Online application that allowed you to upload documents to FedEx and pick them up at a FedEx office location. Basically what I'm saying is I'm a developer and I've been focusing on front-end development for most of my life as a professional. I discovered this, the reason I share this is because I want to let you know that I've been involved in the software industry, and cryptocurrency, I believe, is the next evolution in software. And I love to see the cryptocurrency industry in places like this, a little bit out of place, a little bit kind of, why is this guy here kind of feeling. I love being that guy, and I want to introduce you and invite you into the next evolution in economy that's going to happen. I believe that events like CanMed and sponsorships and things that the medical genomics is doing on the Dash blockchain are just a sample of what's coming in the future economy. I call it the fractalization of niches. The blockchain is going to touch every single aspect of our society in some way, shape, or form. And if you haven't understood this yet, and you've just heard about this thing called Bitcoin, or you're wondering what Dash is doing here, let me explain to you what I think is going to happen. First, the information that we have been giving to organizations like the government, Facebook, Google, all of these things that invade our privacy in ways that we don't really understand at a very basic level, the ways that they invade our lives and collect the data on where you had breakfast this morning, what hotel you've stayed at, what your credit number, credit score is, your bank account balance, how much money you make, who you work for, who your friends are, what your friends buy, what you buy for your friends. All this information is being collected on us. Dash believes, and the Dash ecosystem believes as an ethos, that privacy is very important. That's why a lot of people think that Dash is a privacy coin, which it kind of is. It offers privacy. It's always opt-in privacy. Now, that's just one of the things that Dash is doing. And what you get with that privacy is the ability to treat a digital token, a scarce digital token, as cash. It's as good as cash. You can exchange it at places like cannabis stores, and nobody has to know that that's what you're spending your money on, because you can opt in to a private option. This is why Dash is here. The Dash Masternode network, as an organization, and I should say at this point, it is a legally recognized association. The Dash Association of Masternode Owners is listed as the beneficiaries on a New Zealand trust that is administered by a Swiss organization that has the Swiss administrator that is legally bound to protect the interests of the beneficiaries, again, the Dash Masternode Owners, Association of Masternode Owners, which is an association of random people, anonymous people throughout the world who own Dash Masternodes. And I'll tell you what that is if you're not aware in just a minute. This Association of Masternode Owners is the beneficiary of this trust, and the Swiss administrator is bound to work on behalf of that beneficiary with regard to the assets. What are the assets? Currently, two: Dash Core Group Incorporated and Dash Ventures, which hasn't quite listed yet, but Dash Core Group Incorporated is a Delaware corporation that currently employs about 70 people, roughly about half of whom are developers charged with the duty of improving and sustaining the Dash Masternode network. The Dash Masternode network is a protocol. It's actually a copy of Bitcoin with improvements. It works just like Bitcoin. If you know how Bitcoin mining works, you put a node on the network, you mine on the network, you spin hash cycles, and you can earn tokens on the network if you add to the ledger. If you add the next block to the ledger, that's the blockchain, the chain of all the transactions that happen on the network. This network is public, open source, and censorship resistant, meaning you can send money to anyone in the world and nobody can stop you. This basically makes you your own bank. It removes central banking from the equation of issuing money and managing money. But it does put you in the position of having to take responsibility for all the things that banks and governments do in terms of issuing and transmitting money to people around the world. The nice thing about this is we get a little bit of our power back. We are empowered to control our financial futures by managing our funds in a way that nobody can stop us. Nobody can tell you that you cannot transact with this person, and nobody can stop your account from functioning at any time as long as this public open source platform continues to exist, which it has for about 3 years, just on the Dash Masternode network. The Bitcoin network has been going about 10 years now, and the reason that I believe so very strongly that cryptocurrency is going to, in fact, disrupt every single industry on this planet is because we've already seen. I have been privileged to see 3 instances of such disruption in my short lifetime of 42 years. The first time happened when I was 9 years old with the PC revolution, when my dad would not buy me a strobe light, and in my 9-year-old angst, I learned to code BASIC and turned that IBM PC Junior into a strobe light. God damn it. And I was very pleased to have done that, and I realized as a 9-year-old child that that was going to change the world. Empowering a 9-year-old to turn a computer into a strobe light means that anybody in the world with a computer can do a lot of very powerful things, a lot of very powerful calculations, a lot of interesting things, both in terms of graphics and, as we've seen here, science and academics and education worldwide. The next time it happened, I was running a BBS, a bulletin board system, when the internet came about. And I told my parents that they needed to invest in FedEx and UPS because every box store in the world is going to disappear and everything's going to be shipped around the world. I mean, how else are you going to get your products? Well, now I'm seeing that soon enough we'll be able to fabricate them off the blockchain, and they'll just have corner locations where you just fabricate whatever you want to fabricate. Give it about 20 years. I promise you it's going to happen. So this is what I think is going to be enabled by these blockchain systems. This exchange of value that has come in this quarter century of this information age, as we're currently labeling it, is now going to include not only information and media and connections and social aspects of our society, but now we have an exit strategy from the centralized banking and government controls over value. We don't need to have borders on our value. We don't need to ask for permission to exchange value. And soon enough, we won't need to ask for permission to trade many, many billions and millions of dollars worth of value, and perhaps even the dollar won't be the denominating factor of the future. That's what I think is going to happen, and I would like to make sure that everybody knows that this is happening, because we right now are in this 1%, this very small population that are becoming aware of cryptocurrency, 1% of the world, which means the value that exists on all of the cryptocurrency networks, which is currently around $200 to $250 billion, depending on how you look at it, happens to be close to about the same amount that the Federal Reserve drew down on its balance sheets between September and October of this year. The reason that I share this is that there is an immense amount of value that is out there in various situations of value, whether it's gold or many hundreds of claims to that gold that sits on top of gold in bond markets or banking industries and things like that, that will very likely be subsumed into this cryptocurrency market. And the reason that it's going to go that way is because the blockchain offers a public open source ledger that anybody can confirm whether or not value has been transferred, just like a retail cannabis business who wants to accept something of value in exchange for their goods and services. That's why we're here. And the interesting thing about this Masternode network, this Dash Masternode network, is they vote on what to fund. They vote every month on whether or not to pay the salaries of the core team. They vote every month on whether or not to support events like CanMed, or to support the etching and hashing of the new genomes that medical genomics discovers to a public open source repository that will be available for as long as the network exists. These are the things that I think are for the public good. These are the things that are going to attract people who believe that they should be more empowered financially with their own data, and attract themselves to and opt into this new economy that I'm hoping that we can build together. And so the reason that I'm here is to say, if you want to build this future with me, if you want to assist Doug and medical genomics, and excuse me, I said Doug, Kevin. Doug's been helping me a lot at the event today, and medical genomics in this process of bringing data to a public space, of bringing value to ourselves, of removing the controls of the system of control that the current banking and government institutions offer us, and empower ourselves to exchange value among one another and exchange information among one another and create public open source repositories that are censorship resistant to change and manipulation. Some of these things are going to be wonderful for us. A scientific journaling mechanism is going to be wonderful. I don't know exactly where that project is at, but that's going to be a wonderful thing that's going to be added. And I want to help build this. I went all in. When I read the Bitcoin white paper in 2015, which I recommend that you do, it's a very interesting kind of financial political statement once you read it. And if you're at all involved in software or capable of understanding some of the principles that are in this document, you'll see that the intent of the thing is very simply to say, look, we don't need these banks anymore, and we don't need governments in the business of printing money, because we have another option here, and we don't want to centralize that control in any entity, because as has been demonstrated throughout history, whenever we centralize that money and power into an entity, they typically abuse it, and it attracts corruptible people, and those corruptible people often end up corrupted. And once you have a system of corruptible people, it's a difficult situation to exit. And so I realized that Bitcoin white paper offered an exit strategy to humanity that we never had before. And I want you all to see this, help see how this cryptocurrency movement, of whom only 1% of the world is aware right now, of which only 1% of the world is aware right now, we can start to bring this into our own lives, as I have. Now, one thing I will warn you at this point, never, if you are looking at cryptocurrency as an investment, only invest what you're willing to lose. Now, me, when I started investing in the cryptocurrency industry, I very quickly realized that most of my life I had been living paycheck to paycheck. So it really wouldn't make a whole lot of difference if I just went all in with my crypto and my job. So I started earning everything that I had in crypto, and I moved everything out of the fiat system. Now that's me, because I'm okay losing everything, because I know that I can start from zero. And that's okay. Now if you're there with me, I will help you. But if you're not there and you just want to dabble a little bit, come visit us at the Dash booth at the Exhibitors Hall tonight or tomorrow. I think we're going to close up early tonight, but tomorrow I'll be there all day. Come talk to me. We'll set you up a wallet. We'll get you transacted at least once. Maybe you can get one of these nice Dash shirts, and you will have received your initiation into the cryptocurrency industry. Just that simple. Now, I'll tell you at this point, a little bit of context. Bitcoin was the first. It's 10 years old. Since then, there have been thousands of cryptocurrencies and tokens that have been created, if you're not aware. Dash is only one of them. But by measurement of market capitalization, Dash has always been in the top 20 since it's been introduced into the system. And the whole market has fluctuated quite a bit. If you're not aware, it peaked as a market almost to $1 trillion. I think it got to about 878 billion in market capitalization for the whole market in December, January this past year. And now again, we're down a huge percent, almost 60, 70%, down to 200 billion. I think it even got lower for a little while. Just to show you that it is a volatile market. So if you don't have the guts for that volatility, don't invest. But watch this. Watch how it happens. If you want to transact, if you want to gain your privacy, if you want to gain control over your own finances, pay attention to what's going on in the cryptocurrency space.
3 minutes.
So in summation, pay attention. Dash is just one of thousands. Dash is not the best. Dash is it just happens to be my current favorite. I will jump ship if I think Dash is not doing what it should be doing. But if you want to learn more and start to get engaged in this space, certainly check out thecryptoshow.com. Also, I'm a co-host of that radio show, which is broadcast on Bloomberg AM radio in 5 different cities, San Francisco, Houston, Phoenix, a couple others I always forget. But check out thecryptoshow.com. Let's talk Bitcoin.com. You can listen and learn about what's going on in these cryptocurrency spaces. Come visit us at the booth. I'll be happy to talk anything that you'd like about cryptocurrency, software development. Again, I advise a number of blockchain projects. I advise merchants on how to build e-commerce systems, and I'll be happy to help you. And one interesting note that I should mention, I do not work for a particular company. Dash is the first decentralized autonomous organization, of which there are many now. But as a DAO, we're all free agents. Every one of us who is working at the booth is only believing in an ethos, and we are not paid to be here. I was not paid to speak here. I was just enthusiastic and wanted to get this message out to as many places as I can. And there's a lot of cryptocurrency conferences happening, and I personally prefer anything that has nothing to do specifically with cryptocurrency. So again, I want to thank you all very much for having me here. I'll be available for questions, and I love to talk about this stuff forever, so please bother me.